Hi everyone, welcome to the Benchmarking to Contributors Weekly Sync on Wallgroup Serving. Um, Today is September 25th, and yeah, let's go over the agenda. Please add yourself to the attendees. Okay, starting off, I think last week we discussed about looking into the 1.0 planning. Um, since we got 0.2 out, let me put that in here. Yeah, we got a lot of changes in. Let me open the release notes here. Yeah, I think the major improvements are we're able to get a lot of the concurrency related changes and multi-process CPU utilization improvements in. So the accuracy is looking really good. Um, then yeah, we got SGLang and TGI with model server metrics, which is nice. We got 3 new data sets to cover different cases. We got automatic request rate sweep until saturation in. This is super useful if you don't want to meddle with the request rates yourself. And some more improvements around observability on how our scheduling delay looks and what rate we achieve and all that. So a lot of great work. Thanks everyone. Let me go back here. So for 1.0, I put like 3 or 4 items based on like requests that I've heard. Trace reply is something we already are working on. So from the LLMD side, people who are testing, I think this is the top request from people on what we should have. So yeah, so trace replay, I think it would be good to see after like the initial external trace dataset support, how can we actually replay per trace as well. Does the same format work, or do we need uh, like smaller form of the trace that we need to extract out of it? So those would be things to look into. Any thoughts on that?
There was a PR, right? On trace replay.
Yeah.
Is it worth doing it in smaller chunks? If doing it in one go it's too big a task, both in terms of testing, reviewing everything.
Yeah, I think so. So this one, like, yeah, Aishwarya is looking into this, and there were some comments initially. I think the main one was to figure out, like, yeah, there were some issues that she was running into. It would be good to sort of deep dive into this a little bit more and see if we need to split anything out. But the current change uh, doesn't look too big. It mainly adds some abstraction and starts with like one trace data set. I don't know, Jason, since you reviewed, if you have any other thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think we were still waiting to verify that it's able to produce the trace in the actual like load that is requested via the trace. So I sent some instructions over Slack on using like the low latency mock target to verify that. And then otherwise I think in general this is fine as long as we can verify that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. At the Slack channel, we can probably follow up with Aishwarya on this, and maybe if we need to, yeah, have like a debugging session or go over like how things look. Can set that up and see how we can resolve that. But yeah, it would be good to get this one in its current state and then look at what other improvements we can make there in subsequent changes. And since 0.2 is out, it would be a good time to start getting these newer ones in. Cool. Yeah, so since that is in progress and the priority seems good, we'll keep that. Another thing that came up, I think this is from the SIG autoscaling side of LLMD, where some people are trying out the input-output distribution we have. So this is a request for different stages to support different distribution. Right, today we support one distribution and then you run it through multiple stages with different request rates. Sometimes with autoscaling, you want to if you want to change the workload input-output distribution as well at different stages, might be good to help. It also helps to sweep some of the other things, right? Maybe you want to, in one stage, you want to sweep for one input-output, second stage, you want to sweep for some other input-output. I think that this automation makes it easier, I think. Thoughts on this one?
I think this is somewhat related to the trace replay also, in the sense that you're connecting the load gen and data gen components. I don't know if there's we'll have to think of new abstractions to accommodate these kind of features that combines both data gen and load gen capabilities. Yeah, maybe we'll have to look at the code a little bit, look for ideas.
Yeah, agree. And that's the main concern I have as well, right? Being feature rich obviously helps, but how can we also keep this simple as we start adding more things, right? We don't want it to get to a point where getting started becomes difficult because there's like 100 different configurations that are there. So yeah, how do we go about doing it, right? Yeah, so this one I think can create an issue and then see yeah, how do we support the per stage input-output distribution? And yeah, basically I think it comes down to finding the right abstraction, right? Like you said, we are merging the data part and the load part into the stages, which is now separate.
Yeah, let's create a ticket. We can have some discussion there.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll keep it in the roadmap for now, and then we'll figure out in the ticket how that goes. Cool. So the third one is multi-model or LoRa support with traffic splitting. I think this is the these two are like more LMD use case. This one is the more inference gateway case, where they basically support like routing to traffic to different models or different LoRa adapters. And today, like we specify, give like one tokenizer, one model endpoint that we run against. So how can we support more? Right, so this once again will expand our configuration a bit. And how do we, within each stage, how many requests do we send to one versus the other? How do we define those? So this is a little bit involved feature as well.
Yeah, so just correct me if I'm wrong here. So my understanding is this is where we would redirect the request to different adapters is through the data itself, and the data, one of the keys would.
Yeah, when the request comes, there will usually be a header, and you can assume like they run inference perf against a load balancer, which has the inference gateway behind it. So when the request goes in, either it already it has like a custom header based on like which model or LoRa adapter needs to go to. Or it could also go to like a specific API, right? v1/models llama, model/gemma, whatever it is. So some requests need to go to that one, some requests need to go to the other one. So when they have like multiple such models and route traffic, they want to benchmark them together, right? Because when load is actively going to different workloads, how does it perform?
Yeah, makes sense. So the model is already part of the completions or chat completions payload, and the additional thing would be the header, which would specify which LoRa adapter ID would be used.
Yeah, header support I added last time. I think the gateway team was testing with that now.
Oh, that's a single header for all the requests, right?
Yeah, single header for all the requests. It doesn't split anything. So right now it just allows you to provide like hints to the gateway if you need to say something which makes it handle things differently. But right now it's just the same thing. So it would be good to see how do we separate out like different model endpoints or provide different headers based on this. Multi-model, I would say, is still a little bit lower compared to the other ones. Because like the most asked was for trace replay, right? 90% of the requests we have seen goes into this one. So if we do this really well, it would help. So other ones will go in that priority order. SLO support are conformance of SLOs. So this one is like more like an analysis thing, right? Today we generate different TTFT, TPOT, and specific data from the benchmark. If someone has a specific SLO, how do the data points look, right? Maybe in analysis we could actually show like whether which stages you are able to hit the SLO and what the overall conformance for the SLO and stuff like that is. This is additional data that might make it easier to analyze, parse the results, and provide some more insights. I think doing something like that as a first step is probably good enough here. Thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's a useful feature. I think apart from throughput, there are also like other metrics like based on SLO, there are like good put metrics that people look at. How many requests conform to a certain latency objective and throughput on that, right? So
Yeah. Makes sense. These ones we can have. Anything else we need to include in the roadmap?
Multi-turn support.
Multi-turn chat. Yeah, multi-turn probably has to be a little bit higher, right? I would say over here. Because this is also something people asked for earlier.
And testing.
And testing, yeah. Yeah, testing should be a P0 as well.
Just curious, what would multi-turn chat look like? There are specific data sets?
We can find specific data sets. Like, I mean, shared GPT itself should be able to support multi-turn because it has the chat API within it and numbered turns. But the idea here is that the data gen for multi-turn and the load generator should be able to prepend all previous request response pairs to a request This is like very important for LLMD and the shared prefix benchmarking.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think the main idea is for the same worker to act like a user and have like some sort of session affinity to be able to send a request, get a response, and then send both the request and response in the context for the next request, and so on until the conversation is over, right? So ShareGPT has turns today, but then we don't use the turns as part of like one user having the conversation. Instead, we basically just take them as individual requests that we send, right? Um, this has been an ask specifically for like prefix caching improvements and such, where I mean our shared prefix sort of helps, but it is like synthetic and it basically simplifies the use case too much today, right? Whereas if we take like an actual multi-turn shared data set like ShareGPT and maybe something else, and then do like multi-turn benchmark, that would be good. Cool. Yeah, testing, I'll call that here since it's not necessarily a feature, but it's still top of the list. Ability to automate, scale testing, mark server, test different data sets. Yeah, I think this would be really good to have once we have the testing. Yeah, and if we don't run it on like, we should probably run like some portion of it on every single check-in and have some like better nightly tests which actually looks at more things. So this would be really good to add to our CI/CD, especially since we are looking at 1.0 where we want to make sure there aren't as many regressions. Cool. Anything else that is missing? One thing I can think of from like our earlier conversation is to be able to pull the GPU utilization and other metrics, but we have sort of put it in the back burner. Yeah, I would say this is probably a little bit lower compared to some of the other things. It's nice to have if people have time, we could include this. Something else that should go behind, I think one of the requests that someone added recently is multimodal. Can we benchmark like vision language models? A VLLM has like a really simple small script which does this. So I'm thinking like a smaller version of this should be easier to do. But yeah, I'll keep it in the list as like a P2 and see if we have anyone who's looking into it. Yeah, one thing I would like to call out is we are seeing some new folks sending PRs as well. It would be good to see if we can respond quickly to those, right? So that people don't lose motivation sending changes. So we can have like more contributors regularly taking stuff up. So yeah, the ask there is if you're assigned as one of the reviewers by the automation, if you can take a look as early as you could, within like a couple of days, that would be good.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is like a good list of things. I think even this to get to before like November 1st week will be difficult. So we'll put it in the roadmap and then see based on who are the folks who are contributing.
I would try to prioritize testing a little bit.
Yeah.
Because as we are making some of these major changes, to make sure that it all works. Yeah.
I think so. I would say these two will probably P0. Testing is a P0. These two are P1s. These three are P2, that order. Let me know if that makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so let's aim to get the P0s done for sure. Yeah, the P1s, we'll see if we are able to include. P2s, probably not, unless like we get like new contributor who is interested in supporting one of those.
I feel like multimodal might be a low-hanging fruit. Might be a case of
this
picking
one?
a data set. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, should we move this up?
Yeah, up to the team.
Yeah. Jason, any thoughts?
From a really high level, I agree that it's probably low-hanging fruit. I also know that Edwin was looking into something similar, or might have actually filed the issue in the repo. So I think it's plausible. I'm fine with prioritizing it like P1.
Okay. Yeah, we'll prioritize as P1. And if, for example, this is easier to squeeze in compared to one of the other P1s or going to P2s, then let's try to get this in. Cool. Okay, so I'll turn this into like a roadmap issue and put it in the and probably create a milestone in the repo. Since we have a couple more minutes, I can quickly look at the needs triage one.
One thing on the milestone, do we have a date that we're targeting specifically for the milestone?
Yeah, so 1.0, I would say, when is KubeCon?
The November
11th.
Yeah, 11th.
November 11th is KubeCon. Okay. It would be good to do at least a week before, I would say. We should also try to see if we can do a Kubernetes blog before that. Yeah, looking at the calendar. November 11th. Yeah, maybe we call this for November 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think if we are doing a blog with few links and stuff, it might be useful to do it slightly before, maybe aim for Monday or something like that. Gives us enough days to actually.
Okay, November 3rd makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like we should go the week before.
Yeah, November 3rd is good, I think. Yeah, November 3rd or 4th.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's do November 3rd. Maybe a blog is something we can start working on earlier. And then publish it during this week or even like the 10th when KubeCon actually starts. Cool. Hopefully, like in the talks too, I will see more people will get to know about the tool, and if that brings some more traction, that would be good too. Because I feel like we have a lot of useful stuff here compared to some of the more basic tools out there. So it would be good for us to get some traction behind it and see how more people can contribute, start to use, and all that.
Yeah, even for our KubeCon talk, me and Brendan wanted some advice on what kind of test we want to showcase. Would you or Jason would have time sometime next week to go over some of the high-level ideas and provide any feedback?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it would be good to do. Probably we can, schedule some time separately to meet next week, maybe Friday or whenever we have time. If you have some outline put together before that, then we can use that time to go over it and talk about, like, there are like demos we should show, specific features we need to highlight, challenges we need to call out, and all that.
Yeah, that would be useful. I can set up a calendar invite. Jason, would you be available next week?
Yes, at the end of the week.
End of the week, okay.
Or Wednesday.
Yeah, we can find a suitable time for 4 of us, and it'll be useful.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's sync up on chat and let's find some time. Usually Fridays work for me. There aren't as many other meetings.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Yeah, the others I think will follow up next week. We'll do some issue triage. There is only thing I want to call out is there is a bunch of PRs pending review. I'll take a look at one or two. I saw Sachin was looking at the Docker image one and such. So Brendan and Jason too, if you notice something, please review that and let's try to get some of these in. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you all next time. Bye.
Thank you.